what we're going to do is we're going to create a new project. So choose File, New Project. We want a Java Web Application. We now choose Next. The project name will be Web Application 2, which is the default name. We're just going to leave it at that, it doesn't matter. We choose Next. We're using Glassfish Server, Java 7, and we're just going to choose Finish. Right, so now we have a new web application. What we're going to do is we check that the default browser is the Chrome with NetBeans connector enabled. We choose that, and we choose Run. Okay, so that's working now. We go over to here with NetBeans, debug in NetBeans, so it's all going. We can use Alt-Tab to change back to our browser. We'll just turn that off, and we can see over here we have an index file, we have a header, we have a body. They're the two main parts of an HTML file. You've got a header, a body. So the header has got information, just simple information that's displayed in the header, and a bit of information about what the characters are. So we'll call this go to AAA. What we're going to do is we're going to create a file called AAA, and we're going to use a form to go to that file. We can save it. We can go back across to the browser, and we can see up here we've got go to AAA, which we've just changed in the title. Alt Tab, and we're back to our thing. Now we're going to go down to the body, and we're going to delete this line here, and we're going to insert a heading. So we do is /heading1, heading1 tag, we close it, we press enter, and within that, this heading1 tag, we can write some text. So we're going to call it go to file aaa.html. We're going to save that. Alt Tab, we're in there, we can actually see the heading on the page. We'll close that again. Now we need to make an HTML file. So we go to Web Pages, we right click, we go New, and we go down to Other. We choose Other, and we make sure we're in the web categories. The file type we want is HTML, so we just click HTML, we choose Next, and we change the name up the top. We change the name to AAA. Now we just choose Finish, and we can see over here on the left we have in our project a file called AAA. We also have index. So what we're going to do is we're going to change, so we double click that, we go into the AAA, and we just get rid of that line by Control E, enter, down we go up a bit, and we put in a heading 1, H1 tag. So we put in that, we close it off, press enter. This is aaa.html. We save that, we just go across and check, and we can see that we're using that file there. If we go back to index and we save it, Alt Tab, or we run it again, Alt Run, and now we go Alt Tab to go back to our thing. We've got a main file, index.html, and let's go to AAA.html. Right, so we're now working in the index file. We want to create a form which will take us to the index. So to get this palette up, we can go to Windows. If it's not displayed, we go down to IDE Tools, we go across to Palette and click Palette, and then we've got these options for some IDE Tools. So what we can do is create a form. We just right click on there, let it go, and now we've just got a simple form. Now the form is going to have to do something, so there's got to be an action with it. So we go ACT, use close completion, which is control space, and we want to go to AAA, so the action equals go to AAA. So we put the first letter in, form completion, and it does it. So we can save that. Now we go across. Now what we need to do is within the form we have to have a button. So the button will actually inform the form that go and do whatever you want to do. So we just click over to here, button. We drag the button into the form. We just go standard, and that's the button that's on the form. We now save it, which is Control S. We go into our thing, and you can see there's a button here. If we click that, we go to, this is file HTML. We can go back, we've got our button. We go back to our editor, to NetBeans. Now the button's got a value, so the value is what's actually displayed on the button. So DISP on button. So now we go save that, Control S, Alt Tab, and you can see the text on the button is now display button. So the next thing we want to do probably is go to the AAA.html, and what we're going to want to do is create another form. Now this form will send the browser back to the index. So we just click on form, drag the form across. We just have a standard form. We want to have an attribute of the form, an action. So it's going to do an action with ACT, control space to form activation, and control space again, and we've got the choice of the three files that we can actually go to. Index is the one that we're going to. We now want to add a button just to make sure that we can do this, so we click the button, drag it across, just click OK, and we'll actually put the value of BACK to INDEX, and we'll save that. No, we can actually run it. Alt run, Alt Control R, escape. Alt R, R. So we've actually run it again, and go to button, display on button. So we just click that button. We go to the AAA file. We click this button here, and we're now back on the index HTML. Forward, back,